After Teofimo Lopez's horrible performance last night, Teofimo and Gervonta Davis go at each other. We're going to talk about what they had to say, but before we do that, make sure you hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. What's happening with y'all, man? Teofimo Lopez. If y'all go back and listen to the video that I did when I talked about Teo and Shakur fighting, I broke down Teofimo. I told y'all in that video that Teo has a very hard time when he has to fight a fighter where he has to be the aggressor. When he has to fight a fighter that can box off their back foot, where he has to come to them, that know how to move and use angles. I said Teo has a hard time with those type of fighters. Now, Teo just exposed exactly what I said. Now, we seen him had a hard time against a fighter like that in Sandor Martin. Everybody kind of gave Teo a pass. Teo was making all type of excuses. Oh, I was going through this. I was going through that. I was going through a custody battle. I was going through a divorce. So we kind of let Teo slide, and he came out, and he put on a hell of a performance in his next fight against Josh Taylor. Now, what nobody did talk about is how Josh Taylor was not at his best. Josh Taylor was coming off like a 17-month layoff. Before that, Josh Taylor had damn near lost to a fighter that nobody knew of at the time in Jack Catterall. So at that time, Josh Taylor was not the best of himself. He wasn't the same Josh Taylor that fought Regis Prograis. Plus, Josh Taylor is a fighter that is going to be the aggressor. Josh Taylor is going to bring the fight to you, and that kind of plays right into Teofimo's hands because Teo likes to sit back, and he likes to be a counterpuncher. He likes to pick you apart off of your mistakes. But if he have to come forward, you're going to pick him apart because you're going to expose all of the mistakes that he makes. Teo's feet was all over the place last night, and people crying, talking about Jermaine Ortiz was running. Nah, that's not what I saw. I saw Jermaine Ortiz play a game plan out perfectly, making Teo come to him, using angles, boxing Teo's head off. You say that Jermaine Ortiz was running, but Jermaine Ortiz threw more punches than Teo, and he landed more than Teo. So how was he running? How can you run and throw more punches and land more? Explain that to me. I'm going to explain that a whole lot of people that's been talking about this fight, they don't know shit about boxing. The new fan base of today, they really don't know shit about boxing. They're just very casual, and they want to see rock'em sock'em robots stand in the middle of the ring and slug them out. Now, yeah, that's exciting. But that's not how boxing is supposed to be. It's hit and not be hit. And that's what Jermaine Ortiz was doing. Now, Teo has had a lot to say about Gervonta Davis. Talking about Gervonta ducked him. Gervonta and his team ain't never wanted to smoke with him. Now, I've already told people that Tank Davis and his team, man, they've been on their own path. They've been trying to get the biggest bag and taking the least amount of risk. Now, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit in this video. But last night, Tank Davis, he went to social media and he just said, man, Teo is food. Like that boy is food. He's not on my level and he is food. And I agree with Gervonta Davis 1,000%. Now, Teo responded by saying that Tank Davis is just talking and he wants clout. First of all, Teo is delusional. Everybody saw how delusional he was last night when he got on the microphone. Instead of, just being real about his performance and saying, you know what, I didn't put on the best performance, I'll do better next time out. He was a difficult style for me, and I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to polish up, and I promise you I'm going to be back better. That's all he had to say. Teo got on the microphone, cussing out the crowd. Yeah, they was booing because you got exposed in the ring last night, and you got a gift decision. They robbed Ortiz. But it's all right, we know how boxing is. But Teo, instead of getting on the microphone, keeping it real, and being happy that they gave him a gift decision, you want to cuss out the crowd? And then Teo does an interview later on after the fight and says that he gives his performance a 10 out of 10. Something is wrong with this dude mentally. Like, really, something is really mentally wrong with Teofimo Lopez. He don't know how to keep it real. He fakered in the $3 bill. But, I mean, we've seen it before in the past. Now, the thing with Gervonta Davis and his team, how they've been moving him throughout his whole career, it's sad because Tank Davis could have been and whooped T.O. You know what I'm saying? That fight should have been made years ago. And he would have already been and knocked down T.O. You know what I'm talking about? Man, T.O. cannot survive in the ring with Gervonta Davis. Either Tank Davis is going to outbox his ass or Tank is going to knock him out. Because not only does T.O. have problems with fighters that make him come forward, because, yeah, if Tank Davis is in there with a power puncher or somebody that is explosive, that's when you see a different side of Tank. That's when you see Tank fighting off his back foot, using his angles and making you come to him and opening you up for traps. And that's exactly how he would fight T.O. But if he wanted to come forward and bang with T.O., well, T.O.'s defense is leaky. We've seen throughout T.O.'s whole career that he gets hit with big shots. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never been in there with nobody that's going to hit him like Gervonta Davis. So Tank Davis will beat him all around. But it's just sad that we didn't get the fight with T.O. and Tank, because I believe that fight could have happened. But like I said, Gervonta Davis's people, they've been on a different type of trajectory, right? They've been after that bag. But going after that bag has robbed Tank Davis of certain fights that he could have got and already had on his resume. And this is one of those fights that I really truly believe that Gervonta Davis could have already had on his resume. And he could have been the one to expose T.O. long time ago. You know what I'm talking about? Now, a lot of people looked over that George Kambosos stuff, and I really don't think that George Kambosos is on the level of Teofimo Lopez. I think that T.O., he came in there, and his head was too big, and, Kambosos ended up humbling him. Well, we thought that Kambosos humbled him because, we see last night when he got on the microphone, he's just ignorant. He's just ignorant, man. And T.O. is going to continue to get exposed. But one thing that T.O. said that let me know a whole lot about him, and that his confidence is not there, and he only want to fight certain type of fighters, is T.O. said that he's no longer going to fight a fighter unless they're willing to stand there and bang with him, right? Unless they're willing to stand there and fight with him, he's not taking those type of fights no more. Well, you just exposed yourself. I didn't have to come on here and say anything. Nobody else has to say it. You cannot beat somebody that can box very well. And Tank Davis, he can box and he can punch. So, man, you better stay far away from guys like Gervonta Davis as you can. You was talking shit about Shakur also. You can't touch him. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney will expose you also. He'll box circles around you. Subriel Matisse will knock your ass clean out. Gary Antoine Russell will expose you. See, I keep telling y'all, man, this boxing shit is smoke and mirrors. It's all about these promoters putting their top fighters in against fighters that they are very well matched up against. Styles that, make them look good. And you see what happens when you put fighters like Teofimo Lopez in against a style that they can't look good against. T.O. got frustrated and he didn't know what to do. He couldn't cut off the ring. His feet was all over the place. And yeah, man, he got exposed once again. Like I said, he got exposed against Sandor Martin. He lost that fight, but we gave him a pass. And he definitely lost last night to Jermaine Ortiz. And I was going for T.O. I actually put money on T.O. to win, but he didn't win. Anyway, man, T.O. needs to stay the hell away from Tank. He needs to stop talking about Tank and all the rest of these guys that have beat his ass. And I'm just keeping it raw. You can get mad if you want to. Anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit my like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed. And y'all already know how I do. Diego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.